What is going on, guys? It is your role model of the IWC Gamers Goon here today with your Payback review. Now, this is a little bit different than the normal pay-per-view reviews. I actually want to try to cut down my time on the pay-per-view reviews, just to make it a little bit more short and concise so that you guys can get the point. So we're going to be trying with this video here with Payback. Payback wasn't a great show. Also wasn't a bad show. It was, if I was to rate it out of 10, it's probably a 5 or a 6. Solid show from Payback. Whether or not it needed to happen 1 week after SummerSlam is besides the point. They put on a solid show. But let's start right with the pre-show. We had the Iconics versus the Riot Squad. Now, this match was utterly terrible. This match sucked. This match was horrible. There's really no need for this match on this card specifically. Like I said multiple times, the reason the Riot Squad failed the first time around is because they were stuck in the same feud throughout the entirety of a year. Now they're doing the same thing here with the Iconics. The Riot Squad win as they should win, but the Riot Squad need to move on to bigger and better things than the Iconics. If I'm them, I'm taking the Riot Squad and I'm positioning them to a spot where they can challenge the new women's tag team champions. We'll go over that here in a little bit. But if I'm Vince, I'm positioning the Riot Squad because Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott deserve so much better than being chained down to the Iconics on the pre-show. That's sad. That really is. Next, we had Lashley versus Apollo. This match was actually really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this was probably Apollo's best match with the United States Championship. Unfortunately for Apollo, Bobby Lashley ended up winning this match. Like I said, a very good match. But the reason why Apollo lost essentially is because they don't have any mid-carders on Raw. They don't even have any mid-carders in general. They really don't have any mid-carders. So there was really one or two options here. It was either Lashley is going to lose by some fluke and he's going to win at the next pay-per-view, or Apollo was going to drop the title tonight. Or, well, I guess it's last night because I am filming this on a rare Monday. But there was really no other option there than Lashley picking up the title because you have nobody in the mid-card. And I feel bad for Apollo, man. His United States, I said it, he's a great wrestler. He's a world champion caliber wrestler. And I'm not saying the U.S. title isn't great for him. It was great. It was great to see Apollo the USA title. But the problem is, it was a very forgettable reign. All he really did was have maybe 1 or 2 good matches with MVP. And then he put on a good match here with Lashley, and then he drops the title. Didn't even hold it for over 100 days. And you got to feel bad for Apollo. Hopefully he can get back up on his feet. I don't want to see Apollo go back to catering, please. You got to keep him relevant. Apollo proved that he can go. He can do what you guys need him to do. Next, we had Big E versus Sheamus. This match really only served the purpose of getting Big E the win here. This match was really just used for the Kickstarter of the Big E push. If you didn't watch Talking Smack, Big E went on a great rant about how he deserves it. He knows when to be serious. His goal is to be a champion, a singles champion. He's going to take it to the next gear. It's a lot more forced than the Kofi storyline. But in Big E's defense, I think Big E will have a much easier time going over with the fans in terms of being believable as the champion, because Big E, he can be serious. He doesn't, if he is going to go on and he's going to challenge Roman Reigns, and I'm not going to have him challenge Roman Reigns anytime soon. I would have Big E win the Rumble. I'd have Big E win the Rumble and go on to face Roman at Mania. Because Big E, you gotta, if you're gonna be serious, if you're gonna go for the title, you gotta stop the fun and games. It's okay to have fun here and there, but there's no gyrating the hips during the match. It's serious bell to bell with Big E if he's gonna become the champion. I'm excited to see the push that they have in store for Big E, if they actually do have one in store. He had a solid match here with Sheamus, but like I said, it really wasn't ever going to be a match that Sheamus was ever going to win, because it's really just there to get Big E his first big win, give him a pay-per-view win to get people to get behind him. And then he went and talked to commentary saying, I deserve this, I deserve to be here. So Big E, it's feeling a little bit more forced than the Kofi stuff that came off natural, but I think Big E is in store for one of those major pushes where we're possibly going to see him become a champion at Mania for one of those heartfelt stories. Next, we had Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin. I'm going to be honest with you. This wasn't a bad match. This match, from bell to bell, it wasn't bad, but I just had a really hard time paying attention to this match. This match, to me, was a little bit boring. It's not because of what they were doing in the ring. It's because the clash of characters just isn't right. Riddle, he's an acquired taste, of course, and Baron Corbin is 100% an acquired taste, especially as King Corbin. I just didn't like the clash of characters here. So it was not my favorite match. It was not a bad match, but it also wasn't my favorite match. Riddle ended up winning this thing, as he should. Riddle needs to go on to bigger and better things than Baron Corbin, but as we saw after the match, Baron Corbin actually attacked Matt Riddle after the match, and they set up a rematch for SmackDown on Friday. So whether or not that's a great idea, I don't know. Probably not. I'm not a fan of seeing these two go at it. If it was Lone Wolf, Money in the Bank type Baron Corbin, then I'd be all for it. But King Corbin, I just don't feel him and Matt Riddle really having a clash of characters that just makes sense in the ring. It didn't feel right. Next, we had Sasha and Bayley versus Shayna Basler and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team Championships. There was one spot in this match where Nia looked like she hurt Sasha. I wrote that down in my notes. She went to swing Sasha, and she swung her into the barricade. It looked like Sasha's head just smacked that barricade so hard. I felt so bad for Sasha. And I told you I'm going to keep it short, so I'm not going to go on the long rant about Sasha, but just know. You know where this is going with this. Nia Jax and Basler actually ended up winning this. The ending was cool. We had Sasha and Bayley get put into a leg lock and a Karafuda clutch. The Karafuda clutch was on Bayley. The leg lock was on Sasha. And Shayna Basler grabs Sasha's arm and uses it to choke Bayley out. Bayley ends up tapping out. It was a cool ending, but the problem I have with the ending is Shayna Baszler's this is the same Shayna Basler that could not beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. But you have her beating two of your best women wrestlers in the business today. Two of your top women. You have Shayna Baszler beating with one move. Both of them. But you couldn't have her beat Becky. And I feel bad for Shayna. Shayna should be a women's champion. She should have been a women's champion by now. But unfortunately for Shayna, the Women's Tag Team Championship is probably the closest she's going to get to the main championship in the calendar year. I'm going to be honest with you. They have no plans of getting Shayna back into the main event. The women's title picture. It's just going to be this mixed match type of just thrown together tag team of Nia Jax, because they wanted Nia Jax to win here, because they're all for Nia Jax for whatever reason, probably just because they know the fans do not like Nia Jax, so Vince wants to stick it to his fans. I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons. So, I mean, I could go on a much longer rant about how they don't have respect for Sasha. You've seen it multiple times with me. It's one of my favorite topics to go on about how Sasha's way better than whatever they do to treat her like, because they're just they treat her like garbage. They do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Next, we had Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. Now, this match actually did not go very long. This match was short, concise, and it got to the point. Now, I wanted to see a longer match than what they gave us here, but I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna sit here and gripe on the WWE about that, because they did the right thing in the end. The one thing they did not do, though, is they changed the music at the beginning. They changed the music from what it was on Raw, and the music somehow, some way, felt even more like forced and more generic. It was really bad. Please bring us back the old Limitless Keith Lee theme song. Bask in his glory. For who is he? He's Keith Lee. Bring us that one back. And also, his attire, it was better than Raw, I guess, but he came out in it was like a grass skirt type of thing, like he was going to a Hawaiian, luau. It was really weird. I wasn't a fan of his entrance attire at all. And also, why are we putting a shirt on Keith Lee? Keith Lee in NXT had that was Keith Lee, just the trunks, man. You don't need to... Keith Lee looks ridiculous with a shirt on, man. Especially those sleeveless cutoff shirts. I did not like that on Keith Lee. It's skin tight. No. Let Keith Lee wrestle the way Keith Lee wrestled in NXT. Without the shirt, just his trunks. Come on. I don't care whether or not Vince thinks that's an attractive look. You don't have to throw a shirt on everybody, Vince. Keith Lee, you don't need to. Come on. Next, we have the Greater Good versus the Mysterio family. Now, actually, this was my favorite match of the night, and that marks 2 pay-per-views in a row, 2 weekends in a row, where Dominic Mysterio had my favorite match on the card. Wow. I think Dominic Mysterio is really good. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I think, obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, making him look good? Obviously, Seth Rollins, one of the better in-ring performers. Obviously, this match, you have Rey Mysterio in there. You have Buddy Murphy in there. All great wrestlers. Yeah, he's paired with great wrestlers. But Dominic's not looked bad. Actually, Dominic's been impressive. Both shows, Dominic's looked great. He's looked phenomenal. And this show, they took off the hood from his attire. I think that was a good move because the hood kind of was getting in the way during SummerSlam. But in terms of bell to bell, I think Dominic can really go. Now, I don't want to see Dominic go in there and mix it up with a Baron Corbin. I want to see Dominic fight people with actual character, actual in-ring skill that people are going to be interested in, like an Aleister Black or maybe a Kevin Owens. I'd like to see some stuff like that, but definitely don't sleep on Dominic Mysterio. I think he's definitely an up-and-comer. Whether or not he came through the indie way or not, you can't deny the kid's pretty good for how he's wrestled twice on national television, and both times he's had a match of the night. That's pretty good if you ask me. But Murphy ended up misfiring here and ends up hitting Seth, allowing Dominic to end up hitting Buddy Murphy. Or just Murphy, because we like to cut people's names in half. So Dominic got his first pin on pay-per-view and on the WWE main roster. I can also see a scenario here where, because I do know that they are doing a Rey versus Seth match on Raw tonight, but I also do think that Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio are going to go into possibly a program with the Street Profits. Now, I've went off multiple times saying about how the tag team division has nobody. The Viking Raiders are essentially non-existent. Angel Garza and Andrade, they've been against the Street Profits how many times now? If you want to build a new team in the tag team division, I would actually put Rey Mysterio and Dominic together in the tag team division, because I think that could be really interesting. I could see them being the Raw Tag Team Champions, and it being really fun and really good with them, because from what we saw at Payback, they know how to work together. They had good chemistry. I'm really excited to see what they do with Dominic and Rey Mysterio going forward. I think they could be really good in the tag team division. And last and certainly not least, we have Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman versus the big dog, Roman Reigns. Now, I know this is why you clicked on the video. Everybody clicks on the video because everybody sees Roman, right? Everybody that did a Payback review, I guarantee you Roman was the thumbnail. I guarantee it. My title is probably something to do with Roman. You know why? Because Roman, I don't know how they did it. Somehow Roman looked decent here. The one person they didn't manage to mess up in this was Roman. We had Braun attack Bray Wyatt before the match even ever began. The referee ended up starting the match with just Braun and Bray in the ring, mind you. They didn't wait for Roman to come on down. They didn't wait for Roman to sign the contract. So Roman Reigns was non-existent here throughout 80% of the match. We then get this spot where Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman end up, they're on the top rope, a superplex is hit, And once Strowman hits the mat, the ring collapses. Charles Robinson goes flying out of the ring. And we hear Roman Reigns music. The old Roman Reigns music, the Shield type music. Now, that is a minor thing that I would say with Roman Reigns. You do need to adjust that because that's not 100%. I'm not going to identify that as a heel Roman Reigns. When they changed Seth's from the Burn It Down to his current music with Monday Night Messiah, I was like, okay, this isn't the same Seth anymore. You need to do that with Roman as well. But I'm not going to gripe on you too much. It was night one with Roman. He didn't come in the Shield gear. He did come in the cargo type pants, but he did wear the Wreck Everyone and Leave shirt. He did not have the vest that we're used to seeing with Roman Reigns, so that is a good sign with Roman. He walked out with a chair. He failed a couple pins on both Bray and Braun. Bray goes for the mandible claw on Roman. Roman then hits a low blow on Bray. Bray goes rolling out of the ring because of the low blow. Roman turns around, spears Braun Strowman, and wins the match. Now, I told you many times that Braun Strowman was simply in this match just to take the pin for Roman because they have no patience. And I'm going to be honest with you. Patience was a big concern initially, but I think they did the right thing. Roman winning here got the right heat. Now, I do know that a lot of people were upset about the booking of this match. They weren't upset at Roman, but it made Roman look that much more better. People were legitimately angry last night. Legitimately angry. Was the booking terrible? Yes, 100%. 100%. Did Braun Strowman look like a fool for attacking Bray and not even letting Roman ever get there? 100%. Was Bray stupid for allowing the match to continue before saying something about Roman not being there? Absolutely. Was the ref an idiot for starting the match before Roman ever got down there? Absolutely. Was creative stupid for booking it like this? Absolutely. But the one person it did not make look bad, miraculously, was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was the only one that actually looked good. It did the right thing for Roman Reigns here. It made everybody else look like an idiot, but it did the right thing for Roman. And that's honestly what I'm assuming they wanted it to do, honestly. They don't care about Braun Strowman. They don't care about Bray Wyatt. What they wanted to do is they wanted to make Roman into the star, and I think they made Roman into the star. He's the heel. Roman is a heel. He hit a low blow, something that a babyface does not do. He came in late in the match, something that a babyface would not have done. Roman's a heel. Was the booking of it great? No. But was the execution on Roman's part great? Absolutely. Absolutely. Roman Reigns walks out of Payback, your Universal Champion. I said that I feel bad for Bray because Bray obviously... I wouldn't have Bray ever... I would either move Bray to Raw or just keep him completely out of the title picture because he's not beating Roman. He's not going to beat Roman. You got to protect Bray from now on. Have him go back. Maybe, you know what? Maybe have Bray Wyatt go to Raw and do the same thing he did on SmackDown the first time. Start terrorizing everybody. Start picking people here or there. Maybe 1 week he attacks Apollo Crews. I don't care. Maybe mind games with MVP. That'd be really good to see. But I would keep him away from a main title for quite some time. The way that they booked Bray Wyatt to look. It is 7 weeks for Bray Wyatt, or 7 days for Bray Wyatt. Keep him away. Anyways, with that being said, Payback, like I said, was not a bad show, but it also wasn't a great show. Like I said, 5 to 6 out of 10. I personally enjoyed SummerSlam a little bit more, but this show is definitely not a terrible one. Was the show needed? Probably not, but at the end of the day, I think we got a decent night of wrestling on Sunday night. Anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to go get ready for Monday Night Raw, which will be tonight, here in a few hours. Got to get my stuff ready for that. As always, make sure you go follow the Twitter at GamersGoonYT and on the Instagram at thegoongameryt. And if you guys haven't seen on Twitter, you can go down to the link below, and there's actually a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, kids tees, and I believe a tank top for the role model of the IWC gimmick. So if you feel like you want to support me, make sure you go over there, maybe get yourself a shirt. or whatever. But for right now, it's been your role model of the IWC Gamers Goon, and I will see you guys later tonight for the Monday Night Raw review.